The Rise of Africa, the continent, the diaspora, and BRICS explores the relationships that are affecting the global economy right now. This book explores the relationships of the African diaspora's influence on the African continent and why this is important in stabilizing relationships with an understanding of how BRICS impacts the future, good or bad. You can order your copy of The Rise of Africa today on Amazon.com.
Every journey begins with a simple act of care. For Quest to Unite Africa, that journey started with something simple: a mother, a newborn, and a promise that no life would be forgotten. We did not begin with buildings, we began with people. We packed mother newborn kits with our own hands because real change starts where the need is greatest. Those kids traveled farther than we imagined, and they opened our eyes to a deeper truth. Aid saves lives, but infrastructure saves generations. So we grew. Together with donors, volunteers, and partners, we sent a medical container to Burkina Faso. Not just supplies, but hope. Not just boxes, but proof that when a community comes together, healing moves across borders. That moment changed us because we realized something powerful. We weren't just delivering help, we were building a future. Now, the journey continues. The next chapter is bigger than a shipment, bigger than a campaign. We are raising funds to build a state-of-the-art hospital, a place where mothers can give birth safely, where families can find care close to home, and where communities can grow stronger for generations to come. This hospital is not just a structure, it's a promise. A promise that healthcare will no longer be temporary. A promise that dignity will have a permanent home. And just like every step before, we cannot do this alone. Every gift, every brick, every name placed on the founder path becomes part of a story that began with compassion and is growing into legacy. It helps us move from emergency aid to lasting healing, from containers to care that never leaves, from vision to reality. Join us, stand with us, help us build a hospital that will serve generations, moving healthcare into action. Visit q2ua.org today.
Neo-diplomacy is the new currency. Neo-diplomacy is the new currency. The reason that I can say that is you have a couple of different factors occurring right now as we speak on the world stage. The dollar is being disrupted. Nations are no longer wanting to engage with the United States. But the third factor that affects each and every one of us is that there is a diaspora from the African continent that's willing and able to engage our brothers and sisters on the continent.
All right. Well, shalom, salama, siyemi, shalom. Greetings to all my Israelite brothers and sisters from around the world, whether you're of the bloodline of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, the house of Israel, we a Gentile grafted in to the house under the blood of Yahushua HaMashiach. I welcome you this morning. Right now, we have been in I'm going to say we've been in a loop. And this loop is something that has been done purposely to ensure that we are readily distracted. As I had mentioned this on this channel many times, the understanding of what is going on and what has been happening, not just throughout the world, but also here in the United States. Right now, we have waken up to I'm going to say, the vicious cycle that we have endured, our forefathers have endured since the transatlantic slave trade. So yesterday I was watching a clip from an Asian woman that was saying, get over this, get over that. And I always liken the fact that you never hear them say that about the Holocaust. Absolutely not. So when that's being stated, I have to pause for the deference that's created, because by their own actions, you could speak and you can talk, but your actions speak louder than words. And yes, the community that has been affected by the Holocaust, they will be on code and they will take you out, economically speaking. That's why I say here, for us, we're always to be patient and love and understanding, because, again, there are some folks that did not know. They're learning and waking up, even in that community. Wait a second. I guess we got lied to, too. Yeah. They're realizing that what influence that they thought they had, what influence that they perceived that they had, was really only temporary. Because that's the Most High that does and creates and provides everything. We lost our heritage, but now we're getting it back. And we're getting it back one cry, one prayer at a time. Please forgive me, family, because this is going to be a bit of an emotional shout out to Sister Shonda. Shout out to Sister Shonda. She got on yesterday and was able to speak. I couldn't get on. Sometimes you have to let emotions run its course, because I know that you and we're humans. We all deal with emotions. We have to process things so then we don't get caught up and caught off guard. Because that's all they want us to do. And I feel sorry for Devastated for that young man. And the young man that Rick Chow had murdered in cold blood, Cyrus Carmack Belton. What you're seeing is lawfare. But we've been going over lawfare since 1453. And what that does is it doesn't just show us. We all knew what this was going to be. So I felt bad, but I wasn't surprised. Oh man. I thought, oh man, I wasn't surprised. And you want to know what? I'm so ashamed that I wasn't surprised. Because we have been dealing with disappointments. We all know what should have been done truthfully and in justice, because had that been them on the other side, the case would have been different. Had that have been, let's just face it, the white person being accosted by Carmelo, then everybody would have been like, okay, yeah, we get it. We tell our children not to bully other children. The problem is there was a pattern of behavior there. They didn't want to say that those two students were there on the campus illegally. You know, I'm going to tell you, as a teacher, legally, when you're suspended, that means that you do not have access to the school. And that generally goes to any and all activities. Yeah, even if they're on school grounds, you're suspended from all activities. A suspension is a suspension. Don't come here. Don't look for trouble. They're on school grounds and they were looking for trouble. Let's call it what it is. You're seeing lawfare, and that's played on all of us every single day, whether you want to admit it or not. And it's very sad that people have to finally wake up. Oh, well, they want us to go on out there and march and save our country. I'm sorry, your country's beyond redemption. Save it for what? For who? Not for us. Make things go back to normal. To do what? So you can kill us off, or delete us off even more? No, that ship has sailed. Okay, you want to continue to delete us? All right. Maybe just maybe, that will get our people to literally get over ourselves, ask the Most High in prayer to deliver us. You all knew where this was going in this administration. You all knew. Don't get mad. Don't get angry. Don't get upset. You all knew. But I thought that this was, look, you understand, they did this literally or 2 weeks after the Pope's decision. We're in servitude. We're a victual. We are a prisoner of war. Just as Sister Shonda had stated, nobody's going to save us but the Most High. And do you understand that every single time that this now injustice happens in a time of their judgment, don't think that judgment goes away. Actually, it compounds. The earth mourns. These earthquakes, the earth mourns. Because why? Because it can't deal with the wickedness anymore. They're fighting to save their wickedness. Oh, well, we did it in self-defense. Do you see how that argument works? Well, now you understand why Iran wasn't allowed to strike back. Y'all get that now? Y'all get how white supremacy now works on the global stage, on the global order? And again, truthfully speaking, it's not white supremacy because you now have these nations that are Caucasian nations, Caucasus, which is what you have with Iran, Indo-Europeans. They literally are at the steps of the Caucasus Mountains, right there, geographically buttoned up. This is about vanity, and it always has been about vanity, pure and simple. Vain imaginations. So you want to know what? For those black folks, melanated folks, people of color, whatever they want to call them, coming all around the world, y'all better watch out. We gave you the warning. You come here. How come such and such didn't make it? How come such and such got disappeared? Y'all still want to come here and we talk to you about that island in the Bahamas? Go ahead. Because we all know what's getting ready to go down. We've said it. And folks want to act like it doesn't happen. It doesn't exist. We're post-racial. Okay. The text messages, all of the evidence being deleted, omitted. Oh, they couldn't find it. Let me tell you this. They got cameras everywhere. And this generation that has cameras like crazy, they got cameras everywhere. Somebody probably had the incident because that's what they do as teenagers. Oh, they're about to fight. Somebody whips on out in less than half a second. You want to know why? Because when I do silly stuff, my kids will whip out that camera on the phone. Wait, Dad, what were you doing again? In less than half a second. It's crazy. They'll do it in less than half a second. Tap that upper corner and it's an automatic perfunctory motion. So now they want to energize black folks. Hey, we told you we're going to shake you. We told you we're going to get you on out there. We told you we're going to feed off your energy. Don't give them the energy. You want to know what you need to do with your voices? Ask the Most High for help. That's it. Everything that we've done, everything that we tried to do, and I'm talking to our brothers and sisters that are not quite awake, and there's quite a few. I'm talking to usually I hold a specific audience that know who you are, that understand prophecy and scriptures, that are seeing this, and all I'm doing is providing commentary with a little bit of some analysis and in terms of business and military and economics, diplomatic, things of that nature. But by and large, our people are still asleep at the wheel. And the only reason that they're getting nudged a little bit is because now they're about to go to New York City, to the NYC. And guess who's up in the NYC? A whole bunch of immigrants from other countries, particularly African countries, that have more than likely overstayed their visa, tried to go through the correct way, and then they're going to be having the enforcement being cracked down. Oh, you want to go to your trial, excuse me, not trial, your go to court to have the proceedings. For your naturalization, because the immigration system's so broken that once you leave, that's you shaved off 10 years. You're not coming back for 10 years. But that immigration attorney said, hey, the chances are very low that, that happens. You can get to where you need to get to. You can seek asylum if you're coming from here, here, and here. They're not even doing that anymore. Now, obviously, that will go up to the Texas Supreme Court, where it probably will be upheld. And then they'll have to file in the Supreme Court. Yeah, I know. Yeah, it's when I say, like, look at their actions. Their actions say it all. There's no redemption here. Pastor Rick says, read the comments under the Carmelo guilty verdict. These people are completely degenerate, hateful, and wicked. The only solution for our people is leave Babylon. We cannot heal her. No, it's beyond help. But that's what the Most High is showing us for all of our people that say, no, it's going to get better. Trust and believe. Trust. They've shown you who they are. Now the world sees it because they don't care. Because now the funny thing about what's happening here and what has happened to us, the world is getting economically poorer. But I thought the U.S. cared about, the whole world. No. They cared about the whole world being poorer. And what you all were doing, you all were actually having the dollar be too strengthened. So that actually was causing America to become poor. I I think it's very interesting that right now they are looking to equate. Well, they're finally equating the Ukrainian war, conflict war, whatever you want to state it and call it. They're finally equating it. That conflict that has raged is really one of the direct results of us awakening. You want to know why? Because lo and behold, in 2021, not even 12 months, Vladimir Putin opened up the records or the vaults that they have over in Russia by the Orthodox Church. You want to know why they were mad, especially Europeans were mad? You want to know why the Europeans were trying to have their NATO exercises? Yeah, it was a response. They had one of the largest NATO exercises before Putin then countered with his NATO exercise. They would have invaded anyway. Putin just said, you know what, I'm here for the smoke. That's what Iran did. Iran's like, all right, they're gonna hit us anyway. So guess what? They just sat back and they just waited. And in the middle of negotiations, in the middle of good faith, they got hit. Oh boy, man. I told you, the rest of the world, they don't want to feel like black folks. And now they're getting treated like black folks. How long do you think that's going to last? I just want you to ask yourselves that question. How long do you think that was going to last? It was not going to last. Especially right now, they're trying to kick Merz out of office in Germany. You did this with Trump. You did this with Kerr. You did this, or excuse me, with Starmer. You did this with Macron. Fix it. You know how many riots are going on over there in France right now? Shalom, Sister Chantel. It is emotional.
Shalom. Shalom to everyone in the chat. At first I came in, I was like, I came in when you were saying you're not surprised by this. I'm like, surprised what happened? And then I realized Carmelo, and I'm like, oh God.
Yeah, legal lynching. Legal lynching.
We're not surprised. And this isn't just, I'm not trying to take this from you guys or anything, but this isn't just about you in terms of how you feel. We feel it as well. And we're like, what is, because
wasn't it just a Nigerian brother that was killed deleted over an island?
Yes. And remember I told you about another Nigerian brother that was deleted in, I think it was 2008 or 2009. And this was before George Floyd. He came over for a wedding to South London. He came over for a wedding, and I don't know, he got into some sort of altercation. And one of the neighbors around the block of flats had called the police on him. And about 7 police officers were surrounding this man. And one of them had their knee on his neck. Same thing. same thing, crying out, I can't breathe, I can't breathe. And the same thing happened. He was terminated. And I remember watching the news. It was on Channel 4. And I remember they were interviewing the wife back in Nigeria, and she said, "My husband just went to a wedding, and now I have to plan for his funeral. He literally just left, you know." And I remember seeing that recently after George Floyd. I remember his name now. After George Floyd. You have to excuse me. I am suffering from brain fog. I don't know why, but I am. But I remember seeing that on YouTube after George Floyd, and I remember they took it down. I remember 2 weeks after George Floyd, there was another incident here with a young brother, same kind of issue, surrounded by police. He was being harassed and everything. And yeah, fortunately he lived, that, you know, as far as I know anyway, but he survived and everything. But when I went back to look for this, because I ultimately went to look for the Nigerian brother, because I was actually going to post it to other people. But when I went looking for the Nigerian brothers, the Channel 4 clip, it was gone. And then I found the one that happened 2 weeks after George Floyd over here. And then when I went back to look for it again, it had gone. That had gone too. That's why I said,
that's grabbing the evidence.
Yeah, this country is good at it. That's why a lot of us don't even realize that we go through what we go through over here. It's so like, how many people knew about those the three sisters that was deleted? Then they found the body of the mother. The whole family. The whole family. Don't think that what they're doing over in your neck of the woods, they're not doing over here. They just cover they know how to cover themselves better here. But so when I say I was not, when you said you're not surprised, we're not surprised. Well, why? That's why I said we, all of us in the diaspora, even on the continent, we will mourn, because we're like, what is going on? Well, we know what's going on, but we're not shocked. We might be shocked, but we're not surprised, because this is a consistency with them. And it's like all of us in every portion of the world where we find ourselves in proximity to them, as they are the majority and us being the minority in their spaces. This is something that we all know about. We all feel it. When we hear it, we ache, we cry, we mourn, and we're like, and it's bad enough they do that. But what hurts even more is, as it says in Zechariah 11 verse 5, they hold themselves not guilty.
I'm guilty.
And then they praise the Most High. Like, when you know who you are, even before we knew who we are, we knew this was a sin. This was a sin against the Most High. Before we knew we were Yasharal, we knew this was a sin, because it's like we in the minds of Christianity, of all denominations, of all demographics, we understand the taking of a life is that's unforgivable. You shouldn't do that. So it's like, for every person, especially for us, we're like, being the Christians that we were, we would be, well, how can you sit in church and then just be like, blessed be the Lord, for I am rich? How could you do that? The disconnect, it literally boggles our minds. And I understand that this is why they have to turn around. Every other group has to turn and say that Black people are the most spiritual. We are. But it's bigger than just being because we suffered and everything. we're spiritual. We're the most spiritual because those laws, you may read them. Talking to these other groups that claim to be Christian, you may read it and be like, "Oh yeah, these are good concepts." And no, you read it. We have it. It's in our hearts. It's in our DNA. It's in our blood. Our ancestors were the ones that stood at the foot of that mountain. When we see things that trouble us, look, I remember listening to some of these Asians that say, we're not all like that and blah blah this and the other, and even some of them who are like, well, some of your people have done this to us, and yeah, that is true. But the difference, and somebody else turned around and said this, and I know that we all think the same thing. The difference between us and you is that when our people do ish like this, we don't stay silent. The difference is that we don't stick together just cause. When we call our people out and we say, no, that was wrong. What you did was wrong. What you did was out of order. What you did was this. We hold our people accountable.
Accountable. Yeah.
We hold our people's feet to the flames. What do you lot do? You sit there and you say nothing. And then on top, what makes it even worse, though the ones that say nothing are probably the best of the best of the bunch. The rest of you all stand in solidarity with them. Like, we don't care if he harmed a child. We don't care if he killed this. We don't care if they did that. We're going to stand by them no matter what. And then you get mad when we're like, oh, is that the game we're playing? Okay, we're going to do the same.
Mm-hmm.
Get mad. You get mad and you understand that.
Yeah, withholding dollars, like, you all see what economic warfare looks like. So in reality, when you do boycott the system that is made specifically, this system is made specifically off of dollars, off of currency, off of money generation and flow, particularly for who? From who? Well, the slave class. That's us. That's what they think. That's what they feel. That's what we have basically expressed, because we'll do all sorts of stupid stuff to, oh, I need this. I got to get that. I got to do this.
Yes.
But when you withhold those monies and you withhold those funds collectively, oh, yeah. Now, they'll try to drum up some laws and say, well, if you do that, that's economic terrorism or something crazy like that. No, I just don't feel like shopping with that person.
Exactly. I wish they'd shut up about that.
Because everything that we do is an action. If they don't like our action, or if our action goes against them, then they'll say, well, you're being a terrorist or something crazy. And then you say, well, do you look in the mirror? Do you see your actions? And the reality is, no, they don't. See, we've said it for a long time, and now here's what's actually happening on the world stage, which is what they're getting mad about. They don't have the influence that they once had. That influence ties directly to money. Influence is based on your economic standing. If you ain't got no economic standing, then guess what? Your power is waning. Do you see what's happened in the Strait of Hormuz? This is the classic scenario. They called us out. They weren't scared. They've been hiding missiles in mountains for a minute. The assessments that we had regarding them fighting back, well, they're doing it. They shut the Strait of Hormuz. Yeah, they're doing it. And like I always tell you, they'll give you a tidbit of the truth and of the reality. If you aren't operating in that window of the truth before they lock the truth down. Oh, well, everything is good. Everything is fine. I just saw that this week. And some offbeat interview where then you had somebody come through and say, hey, matter of fact, well, we're actually now looking good. We're now because We know their MO. You only get a little bit of time to understand the truth, and then they're going to wash it on over with the media. Because they have to operate in spiritual. There's a spiritual framework that they have to operate in. Y'all didn't understand how these magicians in Egypt worked. They're telling you how they have operated since we came out of captivity to begin with. They just saw, oh, well, you know what? When we get these Negroes back into captivity, we're going to perfect it. We've had a couple of kingdoms and generations to perfect it, because they're not saying it. You want to know who's saying it? They're principalities. Yeah, we got them to sin. Yeah, we got them to go into captivity. Now, all of a sudden, you want to know why they're pressed? Because we've been standing up. Oh, boy. Daniel chapter 12. We're standing up. We're calling on the Most High. So the Most High is fighting our battles from the rear. He's not seeing it. He's not going to show it to you. Well, I need to see him do. I need to see. No. They're crafty. Well, if the Most High is judging us, then we're just going to go and we're going to fall down. We're going to repent. We're going to get in sackcloth and ashes so we can have some more time so we can do it again. Y'all realize that that's what September 11th was really all about. Well, you know, we got to be a God-fearing nation. We got to do this. We got to do that. We got to love on our brothers and sisters, no matter the color. And we got to kumbaya. And then what ended up happening, literally in clockwork, 15 years later, they were back to the wicked. This is where the wicked, from the wicked, springs wickedness. Okay, now that we got that facade over, now we have to go to our big plan. If we can just get them to come on out. Yes, they use your voice. They use your prayers. Oh, Father, please help this nation. I know that this nation utterly hates us. I know that they detest us. I know that they have a hatred for us that's of ancient. Father, please help them. We love them.
Oh, no. No. Ain't you.
That's what they want. Remember, that's what they want to hear. Remember, that was the whole little prayer service, and they had the one pastor on out there from South Florida. Please ensure that Pharaoh continues to do what Pharaoh has been empowered to do in Jesus' name. Thank you, Jesus, for making sure that they suffer. Because by their stripes we are healed. By their blood.
Jesus
It's
ain't
good
doing
enough, because I guess, you know, they're related to you. So, thank you. These nations are now seeing what we've been saying. They don't, and here's the thing: they didn't want to see it, because here's the thing: they were getting rich off of us being in our captivity. Okay, and I was saying this. I said, Father, judge these nations, judge them. Judge them that when they think that they are fat and happy and rich, tear them down. These nations are getting torn down. These nations are now dealing with an issue. So now we're seeing these issues going on, and we've been telling them, you better repent. The Most High's moving. He's not going to relent. He's not going to stop. I really do say that this may fall in line with what Yahuah is talking about with the increased persecutions. Because again, why would our persecutions be increased? We would be falling back from Christianity. If this is what you think about Christianity. Well, yeah, because, Jesus loves us. You all are supposed to die from us. Or, excuse me, get deleted by us. And we're saying no more. Who do you serve? Do you serve the God of the Bible or the lowercase g's that the Bible mentions? I've always had to ask that. Who do you serve? Because if you're looking at the characteristics of those nations that serve the lowercase g's, they thought that they were righteous in their own eyes too. And then they make the mistakes, and then they have the follies, and then you see them messing up. You see that all throughout scriptures. It's always the person, it's always that one leader or king that they have that boasts, that brags, I'm this, I'm that, I'm this, I'm that, and then they don't last very long. They have their appointed time, they have their appointed hour. This appointed time, this appointed hour was going to be the most interesting in history. Let me get to this. Plagues, pestilence, famine, and sword. This judgment is on them. Sister Chantel, this is what we have here in the United States. New World Screwworm confirmed in Texas dog. Central Texas vet share what pet owners should know. By Sydney Walker. The U.S. Department of Agriculture confirmed 2 additional cases of New World Screwworm in the United States. On Monday, June 8th, in a calf and a dog. The dog, located in Andrews County, had recently traveled to Mexico, according to the USDA. That brings the Total number of confirmed cases in Texas, 4. What is this New World screwworm? Well, the parasite is not a typical fly. Unlike common maggots that feed on dead tissue, the New World screwworm targets living flesh. Its larvae burrow into warm-blooded animals and, in rare cases, humans. So it's a parasite. You got to get these parasites out of you, deworming, detoxing. Through open wounds or sensitive areas, including eyes, ears, and genitalia. Oh boy.
Some of them women with their little dogs. I'm just saying.
Well, we knew it was coming. We knew it was coming. How did that parasite end up there?
All the way up in there as well. And then you wonder why you can't keep them babies up in there.
Oh boy.
Shalom, you all need prayer. I decided to come in quick.
We're gonna get too ignorant up in here, Brother Asaph. We saw the screwworm.
Yeah, I saw it. I hope you can hear me well because I'm wearing noise cancelling headphones and I'm in a Costa at the moment waiting for my appointment time to go in.
Shalom, Uncle.
Shalom. Yeah, we're at a time now where we can see exactly what's happening. All of us, regardless of who we are, have faced some sort of oppression and varying levels of oppression wherever we are. And this proves Deuteronomy and Leviticus. No one fits the prophecies more than what we do. And I am praying that the Most High will intervene and take us out of this situation. You know, I've got family who are still ignorant, still hanging on to the papal faith, the direct papal faith, and cannot put 2 and 2 together or refuse to put 2 and 2 together. How can the clean come out of the unclean, as what Job says in Job 14 and verse 4? It is ridiculous. Nothing's not going to get any better. In fact, the level of hatred against us is getting worse. I'm wearing a boot because my foot, I'm recovering from foot surgery, and I couldn't drive or anything like that today. And I jumped on the bus, and not one of those Gentiles or our people would give me a seat. But the thing is, society is getting worse, and many of our people are going along with it. And I'm praying for the day that we come out and that the dates are accurate.
Go ahead.
The fact of the matter is that I ran the numbers yesterday and I looked at it, and there's going to be a big crash coming at the end of this year, and it will deepen for 3 years, and that's going to bring hardship. And I'm praying that the Most High will deliver us out of it, and then I'm going to jump out of it and just listen to you all in the background. But these conversations are getting more and more prophetic and in depth as time goes by. And I pray that the Most High will preserve all of us, Yasharel and Dr. Copeland, Karis, my friend. You keep up the good work and don't get tired of well doing, because we're all in the same boat, no matter where we are. Shalom.
Yeah, tired is an understatement. Oh my goodness. Something was off about me. I was doing some things yesterday with some work over in the continent. I've been hitting it hard with trying to finalize a couple of different things because it's just interesting. It's just interesting. And I was getting frustrated. I was getting really frustrated. I said, Father, what is going on here? I said, this and this and this. I was crying out. I said, Father, I said, I'm frustrated, Father, but I'm not angry. I'm not getting mad at you, Father. I said, but I'm frustrated. I said, what is happening? Is it me? What am I doing? And, I left it alone. And lo and behold, I went to bed. I actually went to bed kind of late because I was having a problem with some of my dogs. My daughter had me watching, and there was an issue. But then I went to bed. It was about 11:45. I tried to go to bed a little earlier, at least an hour earlier. I woke up at the middle of the night. I said, what is going on with my stomach? Oh my goodness. But that was, I've had some issues. And I was looking at it like this. Whenever I do a milestone, it's kind of like the enemy makes me pay. The Most High allows the enemy to make me pay. And I'm not eating anything crazy. I'm actually eating some healthy things, but what ends up happening is that we go through stress, and the stress affects us differently. The stress affects us differently, and I know that I usually will go through bouts of this when I'm stressed. I'm sorry, I do. I know what the Most High has exposed me to, and I see how big it is for our people. There's a level of stress there. But it's not that the Most High can't do it. He is doing it. It's just when you are going through and you're seeing the amount of spiritual opposition. That's the thing that's tiring. It's spiritual opposition. Why are domains down? Why is this happening? Why is this? Why can't they get this together? Simple things. And I laugh and I say, it's simple when it's them. It's difficult when it's us. Just for simple things. They ask for something, right away.
Because they're part of the system. You're not.
Yeah, exactly.
What you're trying to do will ultimately break look. The two cannot rule at the same time. That is scripture. One of us has to rule and the other one is going into servitude. That's scripture. So you're trying to do something that benefits your people. Listen, like I've been saying that it was always their system was going to fail the minute we was quote unquote set free. You cannot build a system off of free labor and expect it to be maintained if you have to start paying people, even if you're paying them the bare minimum. Eventually, it's going to crash. Mm-hmm. What you're trying to do is going to literally speed that up. You're trying to do what is righteous for your people. And ultimately, really and truly, it could be righteous for everyone, including them. But if if your society, your civilization has been built off of tyranny and off of me, and pushing everybody else to the bottom of the pile, especially us at the bottom. If that's been how you've done things, then yes, what you're doing is breaking that. So ultimately, you are going against the system. What you're trying to do, which is fair for everybody, especially for us, because we are at the bottom, but it would also be fair for them, especially the poorer ones, who are pretty much in the same kind of, economic straits as us, right? If you're doing something that will benefit everybody, but to do that, you're going to break that system. And that's what you're ultimately fighting against. You are fighting against a system that this system is so ruthless that it is, in order to maintain itself, in order for it to stay alive, it is literally consuming itself. It is the Ouroboros, the serpent that eats its own shell. And right now, it's almost like a little tiny stump, right? And what you want to do, Sorry, go on.
The issue is that they can't cope because we can fry 2 Johnny cakes and 2 eggs and have some beans to it and a cup of coffee and eat or tea and eat. They can't do that. What we call Johnny cakes is what you call biscuits over there in the United States. You know, and we can do these things. We came through not having resources, not having food, and having the bare minimum, and still survive. But they can't do it. They only need to start working extra hours, and they start crying. Our parents had to work 2 jobs in order to pay the mortgage and in order to keep a roof over our head. And now that it's coming to them, now they find it difficult to cope. My house is full of professionals. My wife, my daughter, myself, and we're just barely keeping our head afloat, much less those who are not like that.
Oh yeah,
I'll land my plane there.
that's the system. Like that's something that we all go through. Look, just because I earned my little doctorate degree, that didn't come with here's a salary. That no, no. I just think the Most High that the fees hadn't been too terrible.
It's a major thing to have a doctorate degree, but it doesn't matter whether you have a doctorate degree. They see you as an NIGGER first, and the color makes them more supreme to you, even though they can't put 2+2 together.
You just a big smart N word. and
an uppity N word.
That's it. Yeah, that is true.
Yeah, I mean, look how many times we see videos of them, yeah, and they when they get into arguments with us, and the last thing that they say is, "Well, at least I'm not black. At least I'm white." As if that means anything. You're not going to be holding that in your mouth for very long.
Let me tell you this, because I was explaining this to you all earlier. And let me give you a witness. It's probably one of many witnesses. Actually, it's a big witness because this is a poll right here.
Karis McGon,
all right.
Let me to another background.
Okay, yeah, go ahead. Okay. And this was right down Brother Asaph's alley with statistics and quantitative analysis.
Before I go, I can say that's absolutely poor. Only 11% of Europeans support the United States now. That is bad.
This is from Vlad Shepkov. This was as of today, 6:59 a.m. Eastern, less than 2 hours ago. This is fresh off the press from investing.com. A new survey shows that only 11% of Europeans across 15 countries consider the United States an ally. I told you. So if the United States is not an ally, then what are they? An other?
They're a problem that needs to be taken.
No, they're looking at them as don't get it twisted. They know. Go ahead. What's that?
I said they're looking at them as a problem that needs to be removed soon.
Straight from a European person's mouth, a European Israelite of African descent.
Don't skip on the Israelite.
Of African descent.
Yes, thank you.
That's all. I wanted to qualify that statement. Well,
may
put
assume.
on my, give my big doctorate brain. I need to qualify this statement. It's Covenant Awakenings. Hello, everyone. Ah.
Paris, they're making the O'Brien look bad.
What is that? I made it to the pinnacles. Yeah. Or I could be like Dr. Doom.
Really bad.
Oh, I'm a mad scientist. What is your plan to take over the world? Well, that's why a black person only gets a doctorate degree, right? To do anything else. That's a NWD. straight out of Tampa. NW. A Negro with the doctorate. I got attitude. I'm so uppity. When I talk, I sound rude because I'm using these big old words. Coming with the rhymes, you know, I hit them adverbs. Quantitative analysis, qualitative can't speak. I do my tongue rolls. I practice what I preach. Oh, bars.
Listen to him now. You're wrong now. All it took was
adverbs. Go ahead.
I'm not calling you doctor if this is what's going to happen to you.
Well, you know, it's like Run DMC had a doctor.
My cheeks are hurting. Stop. To massage them.
I'm sorry for being so ignorant, family. I'm sorry.
No. Look, man. I think everybody here. I told you we're gonna need this kind of stuff now, man.
If you're gonna laugh, you're gonna definitely cry. You're gonna cry. You're gonna get angry. You're gonna get mad. You're gonna get frustrated. The joy of Yahuah is our strength. He really is. He really is. And that's why we have to have joy in these times, even in the hardest times. Because I'm telling you, everything that we say and everything that we've shown, here are some facts. Investing.com, a new survey shows that only 11% of Europeans across 15 countries consider the United States an ally, marking a record low in transatlantic relations. The figure represents a decline from 16% 6 months ago and 22% in November 2024. These folks are taking like double-digit losses. The European Council on Foreign Relations published the findings on Wednesday ahead of upcoming G7 and NATO summits. The survey reveals that majorities in all countries polled expressed doubts about whether the U.S. would defend them in case of an attack. The obvious answer is no.
Defend what? Which part?
No, that's not happening. You already know who we're defending. Them AI Lego videos then told on a lot of folks. That NDAA of the integration of them folks, it told on them. No.
Yeah, one person in each city.
You know what I'm saying? That's not going to happen. And the reason it's not going to happen is simply this: we don't have that tolerance and that patience like that anymore.
Mm.
You know, and it's not anything that's of a, you know what, I guess the word I'm trying to say, we're ambivalent. We just don't care. Because again, if you think about this, you have a large majority of African Americans in the military. Did I have that? Did I have that? Yes, I did. I
Tell you
wanted to
one
share
thing, they
this.
weren't trying to put Jamaicans in the military over here. No.
Yeah, they're like, nah, that ship has
They
sailed.
weren't trying to give them no training. Are you mad?
Yeah, they're definitely like that ship has sailed. Because I want to show this. I saw this yesterday. This caught my eye. It's a very good article. I'm not going to go over everything, but I'm gonna paraphrase it after
Here
this
it is.
investing.com article.
There's the cross. He rises to meet it, and it's a goal.
I mean, sorry, I have.
This tournament, every corner kick goal is hashtag sweepstakes on X and tag Enterprise.
All right. So I had something playing. I hate when these all macro things. The tabs don't want to. So sorry. Give me a second. All right, on this one. Okay. So most Europeans favor reducing dependence on U.S. military equipment and purchasing European alternatives instead. Denmark, you're favoring significant division on this issue. Well, they're seeing what's happening right now, and they're seeing the level of ineffectiveness that is going on in Iran. And I was going to talk more on the Iran situation because when they talked about the Apache going down, let me just tell you this. The U.S. doesn't make mention of their military equipment being targeted, let alone taking damage from a hit or an impact of any type. They don't tell you that. The only reason that they'll tell you that is because they're trying to utilize it as some sort of a propaganda piece, which it looked like that was the case yesterday or the day before, to find out that the strikes in the Strait of Hormuz had occurred, and it was, well, you know, they shot down the Apache, but I thought that they didn't have any defense capabilities. Well, they have some. They had the. What do they have? You know, the only thing that's being told and that's being said is, well, you have to ask yourself more questions because you're not going to get the answers. Just like, and it's been purported in a couple different outlets that we're supposed to have a peace deal. They said that 37 times. That's been purported 37 times. So somebody went through and they did the tally that over this now almost 15-week period, that's about 2 point something percent, 2.7, or excuse me, 2 point maybe 5, 2.5 times a week. There's going to be a peace deal. Why is that? We overreact. After I done blew his family to smithereens, and they're saying purportedly, they're saying that he lost a leg and some other major vital organs and conditions. He just made on out there with his life. Trying to, I wouldn't do that. So what's the conditions that we encounter? She may be in the background. All right. Yeah, give me a second. Let me try and fix this audio. Oh. There we go. I should be.
Okay, I thought it was just me. I thought it was my internet connection because I was going to. You keep breaking up.
How am I sounding now?
Much better.
Yeah, that was that investing website. Oh, unfortunately, that's kind of what happens. All right, so as I was saying, let me get back into here. Why would Europe trust the United States? Well, here's this right here. This is the Atlantic, July 2026 issue. National security, the betrayal of Black patriots. They devoted their lives to serving the United States. Now the nation's top leader is sending the message that they're not welcome. By Clint Smith. Y'all seeing what I'm seeing, right? This is from the Atlantic. Colonel Gerald Curry, now retired, holds up his uniform, which reflects his decades of service in the U.S. military. Daniel Chappie James Jr. became commander of the Willis Air Base near Tripoli just after rebels under Muammar Gaddafi took control of Libya in a coup in 1969. Okay. This is for the chat. Does anybody know the movie that was inspired by this? It was back in the late 80s, early 90s. I'll give you another hint. It starred in there Louis Gossett Jr. Now let the chat figure that one on out. Because that movie was loosely based off of. Oh, snap. Winner, chicken dinner. Iron Eagle, yeah. Marlon's got it. Tyrus got it. Yep. Sean, you got it. Yeah. Now that was the other movie, The Officer and the Gentleman. That was a little bit more popular. But yes, it was Iron Eagle. And so, oh yeah. And y'all think that we don't be having military movies? Get out of here. Get out of here. That's going to be a hard thing for AI to scrub. I wonder, how is AI going to scrub all those movies with black folks? Do you think they're just going to pixelate faces? AI is going to have a program to white out characters.
Probably digitize everything and then put it out there. Get rid of the hard.
Daquan. Sorry, go ahead, Sister.
I was just saying they'll probably digitize everything, which it is now anyway. Try to eliminate the hard copies. The hard copy of anything is going to be like a treasure trove. It's kind of like what happened in your neck of the woods with the whole gold, where people were being put in prison and even deleted if they were found with gold. I think when was that? Just sort of like just before the founding
paraphernalia. They'll call it paraphernalia, right? Of old world and stuff like that. But go ahead, Sister Chantel.
Well, America doesn't have that kind of power over the rest of the world, not like that anymore. So they can't really. This is why so many people have been buying hard copies of a lot of movies. You want to make sure that you've got these things. I mean, too many of these things are kind of like, or even just going on to Amazon. You go into Amazon, and I'm like, you lot are so tight. Like you go onto Netflix, you have the movie, you paid for Netflix, you got Netflix, you got the movies there. Go onto Amazon, you're paying for the subscription, just like you do with Netflix. And then they're telling you that, to watch such and such, like if I wanted to watch, I don't know, thank God it's on Netflix now, but if I wanted for a long time, wanted to watch Star Trek again, not Star Trek, sorry, Stargate.
Starship Troopers or which one?
No, Stargate, right? In order to watch it,
yes.
Right, you have to pay to watch that. And pay per, you could pay per episode or pay per season. Like, I'm like, why would I pay? And then like only people that are stupid would do this. Why would I pay to keep a series on Amazon? Why would I pay for that? An electric copy when I could just get a hard copy. Because when you decide that I'm going to cancel, I'm going to cancel my subscription, that's all gone. And don't think that when you come back to the subscription, like, okay, I can afford it now, so I'm going to go. You're not going to find those things there. You're going to have to rebuy it again. So only an idiot would do that. Like, just get the hard copy. Just only, like, the fact that they put that there tells me that there's people dumb enough to do that.
Yeah, like I don't see the digital. They don't really have like digital downloads anymore. Things of that nature. But I'm kind of like, that was a big deal. To have those types of things, and like here we have Best Buy. That's the one place that you'll be able to, I think, still get DVDs of sorts, but that's even going away. So a lot of
DVDs. What's the other one? Blu-rays. They even started doing like what's it? The 3D Blu-rays. I had a 3D TV, and the Blu-rays and everything. Like we got that like when like Avengers or Marvel started becoming a thing, when they were coming out with some really great movies like back in the day. So it's like, okay, if we're gonna watch this, I want to watch it like how we would watch it in a cinema, And now you can't buy those things. You can barely buy anything.
So I have a feeling that when they showed, like Man in the Iron Castle on Amazon Prime and,
Yeah.
those things back in the day, those to me are always the primers, right? Let's get you that level of indoctrination, because it's going to come. It may not come in 5, 10, 15. It may come in 20, 25 years. It may come where, this, if you think about this, because I mean, what a lot of people don't realize, there's a psychosis to this. And Darren Williams says, like the exchange in the movie Soylent Green. Yep, they had all the books. Yep, and I wanted to watch Soylent Green. That was one of the things I wanted to take a look at. Because these old school movies would actually, they would tell you, what they were planning to do, how they were planning to do things.
Like Logan's Run as well.
And Fahrenheit 9/11 movie, or I guess the one that had Michael B. Jordan in it. They're burning books. Why would they burn books? And I'm going to tell you this: it was the same thing that you had over in Europe. Whose books did they burn? Well, they burned all the scholars of all the Jewish scholars, Israelite scholars.
Exactly. Just before what? What was the big event after that?
The Spanish Inquisition.
Yeah, and we're all over the earth now.
Mm-hmm.
For them, and nobody remembers.
And nobody remembers anything. What is that? The forgotten? What is that? The forgotten years? Look, they always try to say it's the dark ages. There's nothing dark about those ages. Just that y'all had black people, and then black people left, and they went to Africa.
Do you know what? I think the reason why.
Then 100 years later, then y'all came for them.
I think the reason why they call it the Dark Ages is literally because they know they did something that was like so dark and twisted to us.
Mm-hmm.
And that they've been conspiring. It's the Dark Ages. Like, I used to think, it's the Dark Ages because we were there. No, I think it's the Dark Ages because it was where they literally blacked us out.
Yeah. Well, they did their edits, and now you're gonna have AI be a tool to edit everything. Oh, all right. Look, they're gonna give you instead of Kivante, it's Kevin.
But what if their Eastern oppressors come and take over, and it's not even us that's going to be, edited, but them? I really don't believe that it's going to be us. It might start off with us.
Well, I look at it like this. I look at the inverse. Okay, let me tell you about this. Let me tell you how crafty they have to be with them. You got to remember, the Most High was actually specific about this nation. It's a nation that doesn't have any understanding. No, none. It has no understanding, none. So if a nation doesn't have any understanding, then what is that nation? It's a foolish nation. Now, I would look at it like this. Remember when I had said this a couple years ago? I said, if America was in a war and they lost the war, what would they say? They would say that they won the war.
Well, what did they say about Vietnam?
Yeah, they said they won the war. They lost Vietnam, but they said they won the war.
What did they say about what's it called? Iraq. What did they say about Afghanistan?
Oh yeah, they said that they won. Yeah, they were saying we won the war too, and they lost the war because it went back to the Taliban. They were trying to do something with the Taliban, and they're like, "Don't bring that smoke in here." As soon as Iran got hit, Afghanistan was like, "Y'all need our help." They said that. They said, "Y'all need."
No, we're cool.
Let me consult. Let me show you how to get this defeat going. We did it. We did it in around 20 years. We could do this, and let's try for 10. You know what? I think we do it in 5.
Listen. I know you could probably back me up on this, right? if an enemy comes into you, right, and they're an invading army, right? The minute that war is going on in your borders and it's going on for longer than 5 years, it's a loss.
Yeah.
It's a loss. How could you win after 20 years? It's like a forever war. There is no winning. The only person that's winning is the one that's defending it.
And the loss was actually more economic, because when you take a look and you see, now they'll say on paper, well, it wasn't really that much of an economic thing, because they were able to, these defense companies, they were making money. They were making money and keep exactly. They weren't circulating the money out of their balance books. That's the same case today. They're saying, "Oh, we're making a lot of money." They're not circulating the money. Yeah, they may make a lot of money. They may have a lot of money, but if your money isn't circulating, then guess what? You're getting poor. This is what's happening around this nation. People, oh yeah, I'm getting all the stocks and crypto and all this other stuff, all this. Well, why do you think you have to go to crypto? Because you ain't got no liquidity in the dollar.
Do you see, Karis, that's the curse? That's a curse reverse.
Yes, it is.
How many times do we make so much money? How much money does the black community have or put into other people's pockets?
Well, we have about $2 trillion in spending power. I guess that was adjusted for inflation. But we still have funds. And now I guess Asians are finding that out, or getting ready to find that out the hard way. You already knew I was going with that one. They're getting ready to find that out the hard way. Wait, these Negroes that are living paycheck to paycheck, you telling me they're just going to do their lead press-ons and do everything at home?
Yeah.
Yep.
The foolish thing. When I heard that man speak, I was like, "Oh, you woke up a lion."
I don't think he knows. He said, "Look, y'all don't know. We be on out here be doing Facebook Marketplace. Get out of here. We don't need you."
He said that, and it was like challenge.
We get that direct. We ain't doing business with no Asians here in America. Nah, we gonna go to some Temu or some Shine or something else, a back channel to China.
But something. But something. This is, how did they get to where they are now? I'm saying this is a golden opportunity for our people to literally start. Oh, look. Why are these companies like Amazon, Temu, all of them, they get all their stuff from China? Why? And they've got a massive workforce. And I'm like, why don't we take a leaf out of their book and divert it and our money to Africa and let them make the stuff? We've been seeing videos of
they have
people
all the textiles. Yeah.
They've got everything. They've got everything. The resources is there. So why? Those people go into that continent, take out the resources to take to Asia, yeah, only to make what we're asking for, and then to send to us. I'm like, cut out the middleman and just go straight to home.
Oh yeah, absolutely. We need to have an African Amazon.
Sorry, Crystal Smith said that Asian man deleted his Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok account.
Yeah, that dude became.
You know why? Not because of us. Oh, he deleted it because his people are mad.
People, yeah. He was like, you're gonna be calling back to us. Oh no, that is Confucius says.
Yeah, Confucius is
Dumb man, big mouth, make big trouble.
Oh, dairy.
He had to get them Chinese proverbs. Men that don't know much get other people in trouble.
That's what I said. They really don't know black people, do they? In adversity, we thrive. You throw down the gauntlet like that, Like, do you not see how black people dominate sport? What are you doing? What are you thinking? We are competitive. Don't do
Yeah.
stuff like that.
Yeah.
Are you
You just
mad?
you just waking up the tiger. You just waking up the tiger. Come on now.
We
It ain't
were
no
asleep
Hakuna
now.
Matata anymore. This Lion King is now ready to roar. Ain't no Hakuna Matata. Don't no. You may have thought that this was the Lion Cub Mustafa. Nah, this is Big Mustafa now. Roar! You gonna have us roaring now?
That's right. That's right. We're awake now. We're awake.
Mm-hmm.
And the rest of his people, oh, they're mad. They're not mad at us. They could look for a little while. They're going to be mad at us, but they're going to die. They have to. They have to. Look, they're already starting to beg, and that's why the love of money. Wow.
The root of all evil. Yep,
Wow.
it
See,
is.
that's we're starting to understand. Some of us already understood this anyway, but we're starting to understand this on a mass scale. Like we had this same thing last year where black people got peed off with East. I mean, not East, but you know, South Asians, Southwest Asians. You know,
Mm-hmm.
from the I country with the I dot on their head say doing some certain a few things, and our people were like, oh yeah, okay, you know what, we're going to boycott you. Oh, they got mad. They got
Mm-hmm.
mad. Not only that, there was, I don't know if any of you knew or heard about, like a few years back, there was in Peckham where young brother comes from, like talking about what's his face that played as the stormtrooper. Yeah. Anyway, there was an incident where some, I don't know, the Asian guy, Indian Asian, harmed a black woman, their sister there, and the black men just came out and said, "That is it. Nobody's going up in this store." We boycotted that store into oblivion. It's gone now. It's
Mm-hmm.
gone. It's gone. When we're ready, and this is the thing, we do it like for little instances, but we need to keep that going. We need to be like, okay, you know what? Because now we're starting, it's going to take time. It's going to take time, but we're going to get there. We know we're going to get there because the Bible says we're going to get there, right? So it takes its time, but it's happening. It's happening here as it is happening over in your neck of the woods. But our people, well, we are going to eventually just be like, nah, we're done. And our eyes are going to be looking back home. And then that's why I said, when we go back home, I really don't think that it's going to be, we're going to do business with this, that, and the third. I think it's going to be like, no, we're going to be doing business with all the different nations within the continent.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how I see it. That's how I see it. I really wanted, before I woke up.
I believe we're going to be the actual exporters. And I know China has, their exportation and, goods and services. But the reality is that the goods come, the raw resources, it comes from Africa.
Exactly.
It only gets manufactured over in China. Like, that's for, I would say right now, like 98% of the resources that China is selling, the battery parts that China has, the EVs and everything else. Shoot, like in Burkina Faso, they're making their own electric vehicles. So
and
when that production goes,
taking note of that.
Yeah, that's they're in fear. That's fearful for them to see us actually doing. And every connection that we get, I look at it like this: every project that we can do, every project that we are able to work on, that just increases us so much more. We may not feel it directly, but it increases us. That's how a nation is born in one day. Nation has to have economic security, economic viability.
Yes, to stand on your feet. You can't be a nation if you're sucking the teat off of several others. That's why that place, that state is falling, because it's been feeding off of it was never a nation, it was a leech, it was a parasite, and it's just been
Well,
revealed.
well, what is it? Dracula. Remember Dracula Untold?
Yeah.
Dracul. Vlad the Impaler, Dracul. And what was his actual name? His name was actually Dragon.
The dragon. Well, that's what
what's the
Dracula is.
dragon?
That's what Dracula means. It means it's dragon. Dracul.
Yeah.
Dragon.
But what is this place? A haunt. A haunt of what? Of every foul and unclean bird. Right? So think about this. When you're looking at now these nations, well, we got to make America great and strong again. What are they really saying? Well, nobody's really doing business with America. We gotta manufacture here in America. Why is that? Because they send all their manufacturing overseas. Because why? Because they're greedy. Plain and simple, they're greedy.
That ship has sailed. After what they did with South Korea, nah, nobody's putting their people in. You're not going to be manufacturing. You're not going to make yourself great. You're just not.
That's what I was trying to say. Like, we have gone through all these examples. Yes, the plant in South Korea that was supposed to make electric vehicles for Hyundais, they lost $2 billion.
And show them how to make it. So basically giving you the knowledge. And the Most High was sitting up high saying, are you mad? Are you crazy? I'm not doing that. No. And what did he do? He did what he always does. He sends a Karen. Listen, look, she is the greatest weapon. She is their greatest weapon, either for them or against them. She destroys nations. Look, the story of Troy should tell you that. She breaks nations. She single-handedly can destroy relationships. That's her. And the Most High literally sent one to do his bidding.
Yeah. And that was amazing because, I look at that and I'm just saying, well, that happened with folks over here in the United States doing business. These folks are going to be coming to the World Cup in one of the most, I would say, perilous times for quote unquote African Americans or Black in general.
They'll see it firsthand.
What have they been doing? They don't even like to do the Department of Labor statistics. They don't even like to give you any type of labor statistics anymore. Because why? Because it shows the true economic peril that we're in. Trying to have jobs amongst them. Good paying jobs, like, professional jobs, things of that nature. This dude's literally talking about, well, Black jobs are good. Why is that? Because they're getting rid of all of the other immigrants coming on in here. Well, hey, you may be educated, but take that broom, get that mop water going. And we're saying, well, you want to know what? We've learned how to do for self. We've learned how to pull ourselves up by the bootstraps. It may be arduous. It may be difficult. It certainly is. That's why I asked you all, please pray for me. Thank you for your support, because this is arduous. This is difficult. I can see the light on the other side of the tunnel, but I have to work with other people to get there. And those other people, they're not seeing how I'm looking at things. They're not seeing how we look at things. So we have to continue to literally drag along and be patient. Hey, look, here's this, here's that. It's this. It's for real. And I laugh, and I just have to say thank you, Father, because we are in such a destroyed state. Why wouldn't have been? Why would have been done any different? We're in such a destroyed state. We have to carry along our people, and our people are limping. We're not going to be running out of here. We're going to be limping out of here. Babylon done chewed us on up. We got our folks holding on. But the Most High has been gracious. He's been good to us, allowing us to work with one another. So, yeah, that creates a bigger opportunity. Okay, well, let me fill this gap. Let me advertise here. Let me show this there. You know, someone was saying that they're trying to do a slick turnaround by labeling these Asian businesses are trying to label their businesses as black owned. That's gonna look. That's gonna be real. Yeah, you think that black folks aren't detectives, man? We're super sleuths. We're super sleuths on out here. We will call the company and we'll visit the company. All right, I just want to make sure that you are who you say you are. We'll show on up. Look, we're not stupid. We'll show on up. We'll pull up. Matter of fact, we'll pull up and we'll see people going in there. Don't look like us. We don't even get out. We just drive on by. They're trying, and then we'll go on Yelp. And leave the review. Y'all are not black. Stop playing.
Exactly. Look, did you see the story about some white doctor that's suing some black directory about, I want to be put on the blacklist because then black people are not going to them. They're going to black doctors, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he's suing because he can't use it. He's white. It's just like that white woman that did that with the
Rachel Dolezal.
No, not her. No, she started it, but it was recent. What's it? Daycare. I think it was something to do with daycare. Some white woman wanted her child to be in some black daycare. Or no, it wasn't daycare. It was some black mothers support system or something or another.
Yes.
And she sued them. And now this white man, look, they always work in tandem, these people, I'm telling you. But it's like...
Yeah, it's a system. So don't think that they don't have a game plan to try to thwart.
We gave them black fatigue.
Mm-hmm. Hey, listen. You all have black fatigue. We're just appropriately responding. We're responding in a non-violent way. We're responding in a way to get things on out there for our people to move in an appropriate manner, because remember, we get too emotional, right? So we're now logically giving you your space. Isn't that fair? You want your space, right? Hey, we want to give you your space. We're trying to be respectful of your space.
Exactly. You do what you want to. Look, a whole bunch of you went out to create a whole town. We're just...
And we left it alone, and that town collapsed.
Even they really want our attention. Remember that white man that came on saying,
"Oh, they're really going to come. Here they come. Here we got about 60 minutes. Oh, they're going to be on out in droves." Look, not one black person showed up. We didn't care. All right, cool. We just know where to not visit.
Exactly.
At least you made it known to us. All right, don't go in that area. Stay off of Route U over by the Ozarks. Okay.
Now we know.
Now I know Now I know where to drive getting up to Branson.
I don't understand. Well, I do, but I just think they have. Oh my gosh, they have a sickness. they're mentally deranged, and I'm not putting that lightly. This is not a joke. I'm not trying to be funny. This is
Yes, you
there is
are. Go ahead. You don't need a lot of. You don't need, we're all friends here. We're all family here. Don't let no.
but no, for real, they're mentally deranged to have that kind of level of we hate you, but don't leave us. We can't stand you, but let us come into your spaces. Like, just go. You're like a oh, they're like they're like a bad date that you want to get rid of and you just can't. They're like a. I was gonna say something. They're like
But I mean, but
they're like
you have
herpes,
to
man.
you have to sit there and you do have to question. You know, yes, it's a derangement, but it's not mental. This is a spiritual derangement. It's
Yeah,
spiritual,
they say
and
mental, but it's really
it's
spiritual.
spiritual. Yeah. So when they're trying to figure, well, how come? Well, you think you're good enough? No, we don't think anything. Matter of fact, it's your people that are complaining on us. So we decided to distance ourselves. We separated ourselves. We asked the Most High to help us. We gave the Most High praise. We're continuing to give Him praise, and we're continuing to move.
You
So
know what was
and now you understand this isn't just that was just Europe on the global level. Think about America standing on a global level. They destroyed it. America destroyed its own standing. Is it a wise idea to go after Iran? They struck Iran. Oh, it's self-defense. Get out of here. Sorry, we're not. Listen. And you know that Iran was trying to be gracious. They're really trying to say, look, we're not black folks. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. We ain't black folks. Y'all got it twisted. Not over here. Sorry,
Yeah, but
sorry,
not only
Trump.
that, Iran gave them chances. There were so many times we kept thinking, like, Iran, are you gonna let them do you like that? They've been hitting you, do something. And
Do
they
you know
didn't.
that? Do you know what they said? They said that they were going to um, dismantle like a couple of different programs. Then they weren't going to weaponize, and then they still got hit. You already knew what the game was. The U.S. was just trying to start a war, and people saw right past the game. Hey, the U.S. started a war, and then nobody showed up to help.
Yeah.
11% of Europe has an unfavorable view or only has a favorable view of the U.S. Because why? Because they're going to try to bring you into wars. They did that with Afghanistan. They did that with Iraq. Just
Do you know
saying.
how demoralizing that is for America?
Yeah,
To
because nobody's
something and
go
nobody
ahead, go
turned.
ahead.
I was just gonna say to start something. Nobody's got your back. You turn around and you're just seeing nothing. It's
You gonna
just
help fight
nothing.
them with me? You gonna help fight them with me? No.
You just see a tumbleweed pass by.
Yeah. Nah. I think you got this. I think you're mistaken.
You got this,
No.
right? Yeah, you got this. Like, yeah, we're done. We're gonna be sitting over here, and
No.
we're just
You're supposed to swing on them too. You're supposed to do things too. That was the whole situation with Carmelo. He got jumped because why? Because they never want to fight you one-on-one.
no.
They only fight you one-on-one if they have a pew with them. That's it.
Look at what was that guy's name that kept on harassing black people? Oh, Chud, the
Yeah.
builder. Crud, the builder. But yeah.
Yeah. So now this is what I'm talking about. Their world is imperiled, and I want to get to this article right here. I left it in the chat a couple like 30 minutes ago. Daniel Chappie James Jr. became commander of the Willis Air Base near Tripoli just after rebels under Muammar Gaddafi took control of Libya in a coup in 1969. In the midst of the insurgency, Gaddafi led an effort to break into the U.S. Air Base, but James managed to closed the gate in time to prevent the young rebel from entering. The incident, which James recounted in a 1978 interview, would come to be the stuff of Air Force lore. As the two men confronted each other, the story goes, Gaddafi got out of his vehicle and reached for his gun. James had a 45 in his belt. He told Gaddafi that he better not pull the gun or he'd regret it. They stared at each other for a moment as the future dictator considered James. Then Gaddafi pulled his hand away, got back in his vehicle, and drove off. The rebels never attempted a similar stunt again. One reporter referred to James as a Black John Wayne. So this person here, James was promoted to a 4-star general, becoming the first Black American in the history of the U.S. military to reach that rank. And now he's saying that now, as of Donald Trump being in order, signing off executives, and the things that's going on in the military, you now have, there are now issues. This is the man that inspired Iron Eagle. So he may as well have been responding directly to Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth, who derided affirmative action promotions in the military in his 2024 book, The War on Warriors, Our Strength. Hegseth wrote, is not in our diversity. Well, that's exactly where your strength is at. And that to me is, when you have something like that, you're just basically saying that all you have and what you're doing is you're delegitimizing all of the Black folks in the military. So this article right here that was published, let me show you when it was published, because it wasn't published that long ago. It was published June 9th. It was actually published yesterday from the Atlantic. I still have some friends and family in the military or working in the Department of Defense. It's not where you want to be. Says right now, I'm questioning whether it was all in vain. And I'm going to say, yeah, because this was never, these institutions were never for us. We got a chance to work with the institutions. We got a chance to serve in the institutions. But even when you're in there, it wasn't for us. And now, it's Curry here is one of the people being interviewed. It says Curry also understood that racism was still present in the Air Force. Well, it is, but now it's actually being promoted, and that's what I'm trying to say. When now these other nations are like, well, is America going to fight? Is America going to look? Do you want to know why America really isn't fighting? You want to know why America really isn't doing the groundwork or a ground invasion? Because I'm going to tell you this. You're going to have some of our people like, all right, I'm just going to do the bare minimum. Oh, you didn't make it. Sorry. Did you try? Yeah, I tried the best that I could do. Because imagine being called the N-word by that officer or that enlisted person, senior enlisted, if you're enlisted, or a junior person. Nah, I'm not going to go out my way to save him. Sorry. Oh, I thought you would see him and then you find the other person. I had to make a command decision. I'm sorry. Sorry he didn't make it. They know that. They know what's going on. They know what time it is. And that's what they're the most fearful of. And all of these articles are right here. They're all serving as witnesses. I'm telling you, we're seeing this happen. This isn't just out of a box. This is the echo chamber. I'm just speaking in the echo chamber. And, everybody agrees because I'm saying something crazy. No, I'm not. This is the Atlantic. These are actually respected journal or publications of journalism. So now, here you are. When people say, "Oh, America's military is stronger than ever," no, it's not. America's military is actually weaker than ever. Because you want to know why? Because generally, the glue of the military is usually us. There's black folks. Black folks have no confidence. By and large, generally speaking, they have no confidence. I go to war, so what? So I can get shot by the back? I'm not afraid of the Iranians. I'm afraid of my own people. I know exactly how that sentiment feels. When I was on over there, I wasn't afraid of any terrorists and stuff. Now, I was more afraid of who would want to shoot me in the back, and they could say that I was injured or had a training accident in the line of duty. Get out of here. So, I don't know. Sister Chantel, any thoughts, any final thoughts, comments?
Okay, so I just want to, if it's all right, can finish it off with scripture.
Go ahead.
Okay, one sec. And it was something that my mum sent me. Kind of reflects everything that's happening, especially with people wanting businesses and our businesses and so on and so forth. And let me just read it anyway. It's Psalm 73. I'm going to start from verse 2. But as for me, my feet were almost gone. My steps had my steps had well nigh slipped. For I was envious at the foolish when I saw the prosperity of the wicked. For there are no bands in their death, but their strength is firm. They are not in trouble as other men, neither are they plagued like other men. Therefore pride compasseth them about as a chain. Violence covereth them as a garment. Their eyes stand out with fatness. They have more than heart could wish. They are corrupt and speak wickedly concerning oppression. They speak loftily. They set their mouths against the heavens, and their tongue walketh through the earth. Therefore his people return hither. The waters of a full cup are wrung out to them. And they say, how doth Yahuah know? And is there knowledge in the Most High? Behold, these are the ungodly who prosper in the world. They increase in riches. Verily, I have cleansed my heart in vain and washed my hands of innocency. For all the day long have I been plagued and chastened every morning. If I say, I will speak thus, behold, I should offend against the generation of thy children. When I thought to know this, it was too painful for me, until I went into the sanctuary of Yahuah. Then understood I their end. Remember that. When we woke up, we understood. Surely thou didst set them in slippery places. Thou castest them down into destruction. How are they brought into desolation? As in a moment, they are utterly consumed with terrors, as a dream when one awaketh. So, O Yahuwah, when thou awakest, thou shalt despise their image. Thus my heart was grieved, and I was pricked in my reins. So foolish was I, and ignorant. I was as a beast before thee. Nevertheless, I am continually with thee. Thou hast holden me by my right hand. Thou shalt guide me with thy counsel, and afterward receive me to glory. Whom have I in heaven but thee? And there is none upon earth that I desire beside thee. My flesh and my heart faileth. But listen, so many times we fail and we curse ourselves and we feel, and so many like to get on you and say, see, look at them. No, the Most High has not forgotten us. The Most High, he, out of all people, it's us that he comes back for. It says, again, I'm going to say, my flesh and my heart, because even though sometimes, yes, the flesh is weak, but the spirit might be willing, but the flesh is weak. No, this is saying my flesh and my heart faileth, but Yahuwah is the strength of my heart and my portion forever. For lo, they that are far from thee shall perish. Thou hast destroyed all them that go a whoring from thee. But it is good for me to draw near to Yahuwah. I have put my trust in Yahuwah, that I declare all thy works. Like I said the other day, don't stress, don't feel pressed, don't listen. Like it said, this is their end. This is their end. And like I said, an animal is more dangerous when its end is near.
When its end is near, yep, absolutely.
And with that, thank you for having me, and shalom to everyone. I just want to say one thing. I don't know if brother, Lion, oh shoot, I forgot his name. He sent me a message, and I look, if it comes up that I'm unreachable, I can't, like, I'm telling you, my phone's just messing around with me. Just try and see if you can send me the message again. So yeah.
Oh, they want to know what scripture are you reading at us?
Oh, it was Psalm 73. My mom sent that to me the other day.
Psalm 73. Hallelujah.
Anyway, thank you for having me, Karis, and shalom to all of you. May the Most High be with you all.
All right. Thank you, Sister Chantel. Give it up for Sister Chantel. All right. Thank you. Well, everyone, again, thank you for your prayers, your support. I'll put this on out there. This is an interesting season to be alive in. And we're seeing things really unfolding, I would say, at a very, very fast rate. This isn't something that, we're making on up. Well, I think you're trying to fit the narrative, right? How many of us have heard that? You're trying to shape the narrative. You're trying to do this. You're trying to say that. And then when it happens, then all of a sudden they don't have an argument. They don't have anything to state. But what about this? They've lost the ability to actually argue. They don't have any points. So if you lost your ability to actually argue, then you're going to revert back to what you do best. You're just going to start going after people. You're just going to start trampling on people. Hey, I've lost the argument. I've lost this fight. I don't have the moral high ground. Time to start wailing on people. That's true to their nature. Yep, because in their pride, they get what? They have fear, then that fear turns to anger. These are all the steps of vanity. What does vanity produce? At the very end, vanity always produces death. Sorry, it is. The steps of vanity. Vanity, pride, frustration, anger, death. Utilize that model. But that's what's going to end up happening, and we're going to see it. Because why? Because the Most High is going to illustrate that for all of us. We're in a time to be His witnesses. His. So again, family, if you like to support this channel, you can do so. $CLVAWK1 or PayPal or Zelle at karac@msn.com. I appreciate you all's support. It really is a blessing in this channel, especially my day job. I'm still a school teacher until the Most High opens the door, which I'm praying that He's doing. But again, that's all in His time. And so your support definitely does help. It really does. And yes, Most High willing, I'll be back on tomorrow. When this whatever, I think I got some sort of like a stomach flu or whatever. That always happens. I always have to get I have to get attacked. When you're doing what you need to do, the attacks are coming because there's a lot of things I need to do on the back end because things have opened up. And that's why I gotta get going here. The Most High is good. His love truly does endure forever. It really does. So with that said, family, I do have to get up on out of here. And with that, shalom, salama, siyemi, shalom, peace and blessings. Yasharel.